Hey y'all, my name is Martin Malelu and I'm a librarian with LA County Library. Today we're going to talk about wind energy, how it works, and then we're going to do an activity where you get to use wind energy to make something happen on your own. So you may have seen the turbines that create wind energy before. If you haven't, here's a picture of them. They're usually in spaces where there's a lot of open land because they are very large themselves, and large buildings tend to get in the way of the wind. They'll block the wind from reaching the turbines, so they tend to be in areas where there's a lot of open space. They are on average 499 feet high, and the blades of the turbine are on average 367 feet in diameter. I've included a picture here to kind of give you a visual of how large they can be. And turbines generate electricity when the wind pushes on the blades and makes them rotate, and that in turn rotates the parts that are internal on the wind turbine, which includes a generator, which relays all of that energy down to some transistors on the ground, and then the energy is dispersed from there. If you're interested in learning more about how wind turbines work, I didn't give you a very in-depth description here. There's a video on Canopy Kids that might be worth checking out. I'm showing you here how to get to it. It's a pretty good video, and these folks also have an entire series of how different things are made on Canopy. It's a pretty interesting series. Definitely check it out. Alright y'all, we're gonna make a wind turbine at home. You're gonna need a couple of things that you probably have around your house. You're gonna need a cup. It can be paper or plastic. You're gonna need some scissors. You're gonna need some string. You're gonna need some paper. This is a 5x5 sheet of paper, and you can use computer paper for this. I have origami paper here. You do want it to be a square, and you do want it to be about this size. You will need glue. You can use a glue stick or liquid glue. I'm gonna use a glue stick. You're gonna need some tape. You're gonna need a straw, and you're gonna need a stick. I have this bamboo skewer right here. You want it to be small enough to fit through your straw and still turn freely. And lastly, you're gonna need a paper clip. Alright, so the first step to making this windmill is to, we're gonna take our paper and we're gonna fold each of the corners. We're gonna fold it like that, and we're also gonna fold it like that. So we're gonna have an X in the middle. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you how I did it. Alright, so this looks like this now. I folded it this way, and then I folded it this way. Alright, so now we're going to take each of these corners, and we're going to fold them about halfway to the other side. Alright, so like this one's going to go here, and I'm going to do that with all 4 of the points. Alright, so it looks like this now. There's a little box here you can see that's divided into 4 different boxes from all our folds. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut each of these corners right here up to that line that you just made. So you're going to cut it up to the middle of the box, okay? Or to the edge of the box rather, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you what I've got. Alright, I've got this here. You can see I cut each of the corners all the way to the edge of the box. Alright, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these corners and we're going to fold them in. Alright, so this is where we're going to need a little bit of glue, okay? So we're going to put some glue in the middle right there, and then we're going to fold every other corner in. So I'll do this one, right, but not this one, and then I'll do this one, but not this one, and then I'll do this one, but not this one, and then I'll do this one, which I can't do very well while I'm not gluing it down. But I'm gonna put some glue in the middle here, and then I'm gonna do it, and then I'll show you what's up. All right, and then you should have something that looks kind of like this. Oh, kind of like this. All right, so this is what your end result is gonna be, and we're gonna set that aside to dry. If the middle parts come up a little bit, you can just smush them back down. It doesn't have to be perfect, but this is what our windmill's gonna look like. So I'm gonna set it aside to dry, and we're gonna move on to the next step. All right, so I'm gonna take my string, I'm gonna take about 5 feet of it, and I'm gonna take my bamboo skewer or whatever small stick you have, and you're going to tie it to this or tape it to it. I'm probably gonna do 1 knot and then tape it down. You want it to kind of be pretty secure to its place on the end of the stick. All right, so I'm gonna get this done. All right, so I've got it tied, and I'm wrapping some tape around it to kind of keep it where it's at. So that should be good. And then you're going to take your straw and you're going to stick this through here. You want this to be on the end because this is going to end up spinning and wrapping around. But then we're going to tape this whole contraption to the top of your cup. Alright, so you're going to tape it just like that, right in the middle. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take our paper clip and we're going to tie it to the other end of our string. Alright, so I might end up taping this one again because my string is kind of elastic, so it doesn't really stay tied very well, which is fine because I figured out that I can just tape it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this and you're going to make a hole in it. You can see I've already done it here. You want it to be pretty small because your stick is going to have to go through it, and you want it to be kind of secure to your stick. So I actually just used my stick to punch this hole. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this, and before I do this, I think I want my straw to be a little bit shorter. So I am going to take my scissors and I'm going to make my straw a little bit shorter on both ends, just because that's how I want it. Not because you have to, or it won't work with a longer straw. I think I just want my straw shorter, and maybe that'll be, maybe that won't work out in the end. So now I'm going to take my bamboo skewer that has my string on it, and my string kind of came off, so give me 1 second and I'm gonna tape it. Alright, so now I've got that there. I'm gonna feed this through here again, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on here where the hole is, and then I'm gonna put this on to the whole thing. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the front and the back of this thing. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit to kind of help it stay a little more secure. And then I'm going to put this on here. Alright, so before we test this out, one thing I'm noticing is this isn't staying upright. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to tape a little bit in the front and a little bit in the back to kind of get this to stand straight up and down so that it will work a little bit better. Alright, so you can see I put a little bit of duct tape on the bamboo skewer in the front and a little bit on the bamboo skewer in the back. So now it stands a little bit more upright, so it might work. So another issue I'm noticing is that the blades of my my turbine are a little bit longer than the length of the cup. So what I'm gonna do to fix that is I'm just gonna put another cup on it. So I'm gonna take this cup right here and I'm just gonna tape it right here. If this is an issue that you are also having, you can just you can put it on top of a book. You can do whatever you need to make sure that when the turbine spins, that this is not hitting the ground. So here's my solution. All right, you can see that I've got my turbine right here. I'm going to turn my little fan on. Let's see. All right, it's turning. The turbine, or the whole thing, is kind of moving a little bit, but you can see the paper clip is being lifted. Very slowly though, but it's happening. All right, so yeah, I probably should have put something heavy in these cups to kind of weigh it down a little bit, because you can see it was turning a little bit with the fan, but it worked. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed making your own wind turbine. Try out different things with your wind turbine. See if you can make the blades bigger, see if you can make it pick up heavier things, see what happens if you have access to more wind power. There's a lot of different ways you can play around with this, and as you can see, mine wasn't perfect. I could have modified it more, and that's one of my favorite parts about science and learning, is that you kind of experiment as you go. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated on new videos that we put out, and don't forget to click the link in the description to take a quick survey that will help us out. Bye for now.